There's a specific moment every high performer knows. The stakes are high, the room is waiting, and instead of sharpening, your mind goes blank. You felt it. The frozen second before a decision you can't take back. Most people assume that moment is about pressure. It isn't. The pressure just revealed something that was already there. Because the real threat to your composure isn't the crisis in front of you. It's the comfort behind you. Every easy day you never questioned was quietly training you to fold on the day that mattered. Comfort feels like a reward you earned. In reality, it's a slow withdrawal from the exact account you need most when the pressure hits. And by the time you notice the balance is empty, you're already standing in the situation that demanded it. This is the mistake almost no one sees coming, because it never once feels like a mistake. It feels like relief. It feels like you finally made it. And that is precisely why it is so hard to catch in time. We treat comfort as a resting state, something harmless you return to between the hard things. But comfort is never neutral. It's an active teacher, and it's teaching your nervous system a lesson every single day. Each time you take the easy route, avoid the difficult conversation, or reach for the distraction instead of the discomfort, you send one message to your body. Stress is a threat. Avoid it. Do that 1,000 times, and you build a system that treats every spike of pressure as danger. So when a genuine high-stakes moment finally arrives, your body does exactly what you trained it to do. It sounds the alarm and shuts you down. This is why capable people freeze. Not from a lack of skill, but from a lack of exposure. The talent is intact. The wiring underneath it has gone soft. Seneca understood this 2,000 years ago. He wrote that a man who has not been tested cannot know what he is truly capable of. He wasn't being poetic. He meant it literally. Untested comfort produces a confidence that has never met resistance, and that confidence collapses the instant reality pushes back. The cruel part is that comfort compounds in silence. You don't feel weaker on any given day. Nothing dramatic happens. You just wake up one morning inside a situation you would have handled easily 5 years ago and discover with a strange kind of shock that you can't anymore. Here's what comfort actually erodes. Not your intelligence, not your talent. Your baseline. Your baseline is the level of stress your system treats as normal before it starts to panic. High performers don't feel less pressure than you do. Their baseline is simply set higher, so what floods most people barely registers for them. What looks like calm is really a higher threshold. And that baseline is built by one thing only: repeated voluntary exposure to discomfort. This is where comfort does its real damage, because it lowers the baseline without ever asking permission. Skip the cold, skip the hard workout, cancel the difficult meeting, outsource every uncomfortable task, and your tolerance quietly shrinks. Then a moderate challenge arrives, and your body reads it as a 5-alarm fire. You're not overreacting. Your system is accurately responding to a threshold you allowed to drop. The Stoics had a name for the practice of raising this baseline on purpose: voluntary hardship. Marcus Aurelius, who ran an empire through plague and war, deliberately trained himself in discomfort so that real adversity would find him prepared, not surprised. He was building margin, that gap between what you can handle and what the moment actually demands. Comfort spends that margin a little at a time. Discomfort, chosen deliberately, rebuilds it. And the person with margin is the one who stays composed while everyone around them scrambles, not because they are calmer by nature, but because for them, the pressure simply hasn't reached the edge yet. So the answer isn't to suffer for its own sake. That's just noise dressed up as virtue. The answer is to invest discomfort deliberately in the places that build the exact composure you'll need. Start with the body, because it's the fastest signal your nervous system trusts. Cold exposure, hard physical training, holding effort past the point you want to quit. These teach your system that discomfort is survivable and temporary, and that one lesson transfers directly to pressure. Next, train friction in decisions. Stop avoiding the hard conversation. Say the difficult thing while your voice is still shaking. Every time you act inside discomfort instead of waiting for it to pass, you widen the gap between the stimulus and your reaction, and that gap is where composure actually lives. Then practice stillness on purpose. Sit with a hard problem without reaching for your phone. Let the discomfort of not knowing exist without rushing to end it. This is the muscle that keeps you thinking clearly when the room gets loud. Epictetus put it plainly. It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. You train that judgment in the small moments so it holds in the large ones. Notice what all three have in common. None of them require a crisis to begin. You build composure quietly, in ordinary conditions, so you can spend it when conditions turn hostile. The person who does this doesn't become fearless. Fear still shows up. They just become someone that fear can no longer freeze. Comfort will always feel like the reward you earned, and that is exactly why it's dangerous. It never announces the cost. It just quietly lowers what you can handle until the day pressure arrives and finds you smaller than the moment in front of you. But the reverse is also true. And that's the part worth holding on to. Every uncomfortable thing you choose today is a deposit into the version of you that stays composed when it counts. You are always training something. The only real question is whether you're training your system to fold or to hold. The freeze you fear in the high-stakes moment isn't decided in that moment. It's decided in the 1,000 small choices before it, the ones that felt too minor to matter. So choose the harder one more often than you strictly have to. Not because discomfort is noble, but because composure is built, never summoned. Sow the discomfort now. Reap the calm when everything is on the line.